Hi everyone, my name is Kirk Rojas, and as part of your Comms 532 class this semester, I'm going to give you guys a short presentation on Chapter 24, which is Other New Technologies. Next slide. Our discussion, or my discussion for you guys today, is on the different technologies that are listed in this chapter. We've got wearable technology to include the fitness tracker, smartwatches, and smart glasses, and also 3D printing. So before we move on to the next slide, basically what they're talking about is technology on the rise, or at least what was on the rise in 2014. So some of the things have changed, some of the things haven't, but we're going to look at these different technologies, and the vantage point that I've taken on this, or the perspective I've taken on this, is what are the advantages and the disadvantages of each technology as they've actually been rolled out and played out through the years. Next slide. The first one is fitness tracker. So fitness tracker, as we know it today, is a wearable device used to track daily activity. A lot of times the key players are like Fitbit. Um, you've also got uh, Nike Plus, and they track things such as steps taken, calories burned, distance traveled, sleep patterns, heart rate. I myself had a Fitbit at one point, and I think the funniest thing was trying to track my sleep because it didn't do such a great job at the time. But of course, improvements have happened over the years. Um, Again, the advantages of this technology are it tracks multiple metrics. It can sync to a smartphone app, and so that can track the metrics over time. The disadvantages: it's not normally waterproof. For those who swim or those who just want to take a shower with it, it really doesn't work that way. Um, for me, I knew that battery life was an issue. Sometimes it needs to charge um, every few days or so, and that could be an inconvenience for some who are normally used to some sort of device on their wrist that you change a little battery once every year or so. And then one thing I noticed is the potential to be overtaken by smartwatches, which is the next technology that we're going to talk about. And as you notice, a lot of the newer smartwatches, they have a lot of these tracking metrics already built in, so it has the potential to replace fitness trackers. But fitness tracking or wearable technology in this instance isn't just what we've seen. I mean, we've also started to see things like shirts or apparel that have built-in trackers, um, whether it be heart rate or body temperature, things like that. So there are other changing ways in which people are looking at fitness trackers as opposed to just the tracker on the wrist. Next slide. The next technology we're going to talk about is the smartwatch. And in the book, it's defined as a wristwatch-like device with computing capability that can communicate with smartphones and run mobile apps. Some of the players you see in this are like Samsung with their Gear, uh, obviously Apple with their watch. Um, Fossil has come out with some watches recently. And the advantages are they can remotely receive and respond to calls, texts, and emails without having your phone right there with you. It can control the apps on your smartphone, and it can be stylish and fashionable, as seen in some of the watches. Um, the disadvantages are it's mostly dependent on being connected to a smartphone, and if not, it can require a wireless cellular data plan on its own, which for some people can be obviously more expensive. And then again, battery life, looking at charging your watch every few days, um, whereas again, we're used to charging a watch every, I mean, not charging a watch, but changing a battery every year or so. Next slide. The next technology we're going to talk about is smart glasses, and it's defined in the book as glasses with lenses that allow for adjustable high definition display of data either stored in the glasses or accessed over the internet or Bluetooth. And the leader in this obviously was Google Glass. They were trying to really make it a mainstay and make the technology available for consumers. The advantage of it is information right in your field of view. So, if you're doing anything that requires additional data or information, It would be right there in your line of sight to augment exactly what's going on in your field of vision. The disadvantages would be the widespread uses are still to be determined. It was being developed, Google Glass at least, with um, a lot of use in the medical field and for firefighters and other areas such as first responders to get more information about the technical aspects of what they're doing. However, the widespread use of it for the normal everyday person, and not there so much. And part of that is regulatory challenges that popped up with it. How do you tell somebody? How do you know if somebody's recording? How do you know if somebody's taking a picture? It can be kind of challenging because there's no change in their behavior. It's just their eyes, the glasses they're wearing. Next slide. The next technology we're going to look at is 3D printing, and that is the use of computer-aided designs to create three-dimensional objects using an additive process. So essentially building upon, layers and layers of some sort of material in order to come up with a 3D object that was based off a design, usually from a computer. And the advantages are you can create almost anything once you can model it. And there's also a lot of consumer and commercial use for these 3D printers. Um, what I think about a lot is there's a viral video about a student who could not afford dental braces. And so he decided to go ahead and do 3D models of braces, basically, or plastic, sort of kind of like Invisalign. And with that, he was able to correct his teeth for minimal cost. The disadvantages are the printers are still costly. Uh, it requires 3D models, and that can lead to copyright issues because exactly, if you can reprint something that is commercially sold already, then are you stealing? Yes, no. Still trying to figure that one out. And then the technology is still complex. Uh, so those are the things about 3D printing. And that takes me to the question for the class. Which of the technologies reviewed in this chapter have you tried? If none, which would you like to try? Okay, I myself have done fitness trackers, never done a smartwatch, never done smart glasses, and I really would like to try 3D printing one day. All right, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed my presentation.